Hello out there, you wonderful people. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear, listening into another Gamer's Thoughts discussion. And this time I'm going to be talking about the rumored Sony PSP 5G. Now, I did just recently do a discussion as to questioning why Nintendo didn't add SIM cards as an option for the Nintendo Switch. And it seems that Sony would be potentially doing something very similar to that with a PSP 5G. That's what it's rumored to be called. I don't see why it would be called that. I mean, yeah, maybe they're PlayStation Portable, whatever. But still, it's like, didn't you guys move away from that name and go to the Vita? So you're going back to that name. I don't know. It just seems like that's a little murky ground to work with there, but I mean, it's not bad. It's not like the PSP wasn't vastly outselling what the Vita did, but then again, the PSP was also outselling the Vita because it was always hacked. But we'll leave that there. PSP had the same problem that the Wii had. It was constantly and very easily hacked, but we'll get past that. If Sony is doing this, and if it's based on what I've seen talked about, I mean, because I haven't really seen any, honestly, I haven't checked any articles. I'm just going based on what I've seen other people say. So I'll put that out there ahead of time. But if they are doing this, and it's how it's being described, where it's more or less just a portable unit to stream games to, they might be able to pull it off. I'm not going to say they will be able to pull it off, but basically it's supposed to act like it's a mini version of the PS5 that you could take with you on the go, and I don't think any of the games are local to the hardware at all. I think it's all being streamed. Like, it'll automatically stream from your console or even PlayStation Now to the PSP 5G. That is a horrible name. If that is what they're working with, they need to change that name, because that's too much of a mouthful. But it's just one of those things where it's like, I get where the concept comes from, but I really truly don't know if that's something that they're going to be shooting for, because if it operates anything like remote play for the PS3 and the PS4, then there's definitely going to be a lot of concessions that have to be made for that data to travel back and forth. I don't care if 5G is much better than 3G was back in the day and 4G is. There's still going to have to be some concessions made. One, because you don't know how much data someone's going to be able to use, and two, even unlimited data, at least over here, unlimited data has a cap at high speed data. So I don't see a lot of people, if these machines even display that high, running their games at 4K on these machines. I doubt that they would display that high. Honestly, I think at max they probably might do 1080p just for saving data. I think that's probably what they'll be doing. I think they will do a 1080p stream, because that, like, if you're going to be doing that on a mobile internet, that's your best bet. If you want a decent screen quality, you're probably not going to be streaming 4K, because that will, one, it'll eat up a lot of data. Two, it will have hiccups, and three, once you hit that that high speed data cap, the quality is going to drop anyway. So their best bet would be to do something that would allow them at least the most versatility with it. And I think 1080p is probably the max that they'll push for it, if it is a thing. Now, what this means, I think, is that games that have cloud versions, like, you know, Control and Hitman and Resident Evil 7 and stuff like that, there'll probably be games that are being promoted for this machine. And I think that honestly wouldn't be a bad choice. But it really just depends on what Sony's doing with it, if it is a thing. Like, all we know is that there's a rumor that Sony's trying to get back into the handheld market. And that's a market that Nintendo has dominated since they have entered it. Even when there were better machines out, they just had a better hold over that market because they had stuff that was more friendly to that market. But that market has also changed recently, where handheld games aren't judged so differently from home console games. Handheld games no longer exist in the same way that they did before. The 3DS was the last platform to allow for that. So Sony may have a leg in this race if they're doing what people are saying they're doing. But that's really, I guess that really falls down to how studios go about building their games from now on. Now, if Nintendo were to reignite the handheld market with games that are specifically made for handheld and to be portable and to travel with, that'll be a different beast. But they're not doing that at the moment. And I think most of that effort goes into their mobile games. Which means that there's a whole space that's just now getting swallowed up. So, like, again, just looking at the way the market has been going, the way things have evolved so far, Sony may have something on their hands if this is what they're actually doing. Be interesting to see if that really is the case. I know I would be interested in finding out what they'd be doing with it. Like, despite what people may think, I might prefer Nintendo, but I'm not against the other companies. I tend to say it every now and again that I like all of them for different reasons, and I dislike all of them for different reasons. But honestly, I really do want to see what they would do with this. What they would do with a device like this. Hell, maybe it might spur Microsoft into trying their hand at a portable machine themselves. Maybe something very similar to what the GPD systems are. That could just be a portable Xbox. I mean, there was that prototype design that was leaked long ago, where it looked like a Wii U gamepad. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But we'll have to wait and see. So there's not much more I can really drag on with this. So thank you guys very much for listening. Those on YouTube, leave your comments down below. Those on Anchor, go ahead and make a comment if you wish. I'm all ears. But that's it. Thank you guys very much for listening. Keep your eyes and ears out for more stuff from me. And until the next time, enjoy your games and peace out.